Hi, everybody, and welcome to another part of our series that helps SaaS companies like yours to see how you can use embedded analytics to ship your analytical features faster, but also how to help your customers make better data-driven decisions. And how we try to do that is by inviting SaaS professionals to share their success stories, their challenges, how they overcame these challenges, and what the results are. And today we're lucky because we don't have just one, no, we have two people joining us. We have CTO Olivier Mayot of SimpliField and IT project manager Enzo Gambini of SimpliField joining us. SimpliField is an intelligent retail performance platform that helps their customers in everything going from operations to communications, but also performance analytics. And today they will share the typical challenges that they faced when adding reporting and insights, but also how they dealt with things like different devices, so mobile or desktop, and how they were able to scale from one to many analytical users while keeping the interface user-friendly. So without further ado, I'm very happy to introduce Enzo and Olivier. They will talk you through the requirements they faced and also how they dealt with the challenges.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much, Carol. So my name is Olivier. I'm the SimpliField CTO. So to make it short, SimpliField is a SaaS software company. We are building, designing, and selling a mobile application as well as a web application for retailers. It's more like a toolbox that we provide to our customers, and they will be able to support many type of processes across their operations. We are originally we were a French company based in Paris. We are now expanded ourselves to the US, and we are now owned by an American company called Field Agents. We have about 150 customers worldwide, and more than 15,000 users are daily users on our applications. So most of our customers are large companies in several industries. We are working with companies like Sony, LVMH, and all their galaxy of brands, but also like companies like Pizza Hut, Burger King, L'Oreal, and other types of companies that need an app like SimpliField to be more efficient with their processes on the field. So now let's talk about the analytics part. So a couple of years ago, we needed to take a decision on how we would implement some analytics features in our applications, the web application and the mobile application. So we were tempted by a homemade solution, fully homemade solution. But we met Camel.io, and we found that it would be much easier for us to implement that solution into our pieces of software instead of building from scratch a complete solution. And I think that today we can say that we are very happy with it. And so we're going to explain you around three lessons and three main topics why we are happy with this solution, and if I may say so in a nutshell, it's because it's the only solution on our view that has really been designed for SaaS software integration. Because on the market you can find dozens of data visualization solutions and tools, but very few of them have been designed to be integrated into a SaaS software. And we really think that it's key in our case. So I will let Enzo, my colleague who was responsible for all that project and knows the system pretty well now, explain and give you more details about those three topics.
Yes, thank you, Olivier. So hi, everyone. I'm happy to be with you today. So I'm going to start the presentation, and in fact, we will talk about three main topics and three main lessons we learned using Cumul.io and trying to embed an analytics solution in our platform. So as I just said, we will have the three lessons and then a fourth part about our future with Cumul.io. So the first one will be a discussion about Cumul.io's focus on data visualization. Then we will see why performance is always a challenge for your company and the analytics in your company. And then we'll discuss about the integrations aspects of Cumul.io, which are really important for SaaS companies. And the last point, so about the future of us, SimpliField with Cumul.io. So let's start with the first topic, Cumul.io's focus on data visualization. Well, as you may know, Cumul is a data visualization tool, and it allows you to create dashboards based on the data you prepared upstream. All right. So it helps you with three main topics, which are showing your data in a user-friendly way to your customers. So with graph, charts, maps, and all these kind of widgets, to do some dynamic filtering and grouping of the data, and to create interaction between your end customers and the dashboard you are providing to them. All right. So the role that is filling Cumul.io is clearly the role of a technology that should be considered at the bottom of your data pipeline. So this means that this is the last brick of your data pipeline. So here is a common architecture on the screen that you can see to understand the position of Cumul.io. So on the left side, you will have your data sources, which are almost every time your applicative database, and sometimes other data sources which comes from other external softwares. Okay, then you will have your ETL to extract this information, to transform it, and then to load it into an analytics database. And after this analytic database, you will provide some specific data sets that you will use on your dashboards with Cumul.io. All right. So there is this whole process before getting to the data visualization tool to prepare everything and to present to the data visualization tool only finalized data, let's say. Okay. So this will allow you to create a strong and effective analytics solution, which will be scalable and with great performances, which is one of the biggest expectations of your end users. So this is what we are going to see next. Okay, so about the performance. So as you may know, this is really key for the success of your dashboard solution. If you have a dashboard which takes too much time to display the information, no matter how interesting is the content, it will not be used. That's the ugly truth about dashboarding. So here are some points you will have to take care of implementing your dashboarding solution. You should avoid linking as much as possible datasets into the data visualization tool. So this is something possible. This is something that sometimes you will have to use, but if you can do it earlier upstream before getting to the data visualization tool, this is better. So you only share one data set with Cumul.io, all right? Then this point is even more important if you are working with different data sources. So as we saw on the previous diagram, you have to mix these data before getting to the last part and to the data visualization tool. then you will want to only include the valuable information in your datasets. Okay, so make it as simple as possible. This is common sense, but if you take a deeper look into your datasets you're currently using for analytics and dashboarding, you will probably see that you are sharing too much information, much more than what is really needed. And then the fourth point would be to always think about the future and the scalability of your dashboarding solution. So this is really important because you do not want to start again from scratch when you will have to deploy it widely on where or when you will start to have many more customers. All right. So here we have a great example that we lived at SimpliField, where we missed something during the conception of our data pipeline and our integration with Cumul.io. So we have something called the visibility scope at SimpliField, which is a common problematic for all SaaS companies. Okay, so this is just the fact that your customers will have to see only their data. Okay, we have one application with one database, but we have many customers. Each customer should see only a subset of the data set we are using into the dashboards. All right, so we used to manage this through a table in Cumul.io, which we called the visibility scope. So we were sending with our backend the user ID of the person viewing the dashboard. Okay, then in Cumul.io, in the dashboard, yes, into the dashboard, we would get this user ID and match it with the table visibility scope, where we said, okay, this user can see these 10 stores, for example. Okay, and then we would filter all our dashboards thanks to these 10 stores by linking the visibility scope table with all the datasets used in the dashboard. Okay, so at the beginning this worked perfectly. So it was okay when we had datasets with thousands of lines for a few customers and everything. That was great. But then we started to get bigger and bigger, and now we have datasets with millions of lines. And well, we just found out that this mechanism makes our dashboard quite slow. Okay, so this is not the fault of Cumul.io. This is not the fault of our system, which is too slow or with a lack of performance. No, it's just about the conception. We missed something during the conception. So lately, we had a chat with an onboarding engineer from Cumul.io, and we found out another way to do that, which will make our dashboard 2 times faster, at least. Okay, so you have to think about scalability even when you are beginning, so you won't have to do again the work as we had to do for this case here. So then I'm going to talk about the integration. So this is really a very interesting point about Cumul.io. As Olivier said, it is one of the very few, I almost know no other company who do that, to put a big focus on the integration of the platform into your product. Okay. So as SimpliField is a SaaS solution, this question was the #1 preoccupation for us. Okay, so here are a few expectations that we had regarding this integration with a data visualization tool, and then I will explain how Cumul.io answered all these needs. Okay, so we had as expectations to have a simple integration on a technical standpoint. Then we wanted it to be a seamless integration. We also wanted it to be scalable and flexible solution. Another important point for us was to have something multi-platform, because today we are using some dashboards on the web platform, Others are displayed on a mobile app, which can be an iOS app or Android app. And we even have some customers using our dashboards into tablets, for example, because they use it directly when they are into a store. And yes, they want to display it on tablets. So the multi-platform thing was very important for us. And then, of course, we wanted to have something really user-friendly, because it is not an internal use, it's our end users which are going to use these dashboards. So it has to be simple, it has to be beautiful, and yes, that's also very important. So about the first point, the integration were done within a few days only, so that was very great. It's something really simple to integrate. There are some SDKs in several languages available on the platform, developer.kumul.io. You will also get the help of one of their onboarding engineers, and there is quite a lot of documentation on what they call the Kumul.io Academy. So this was answering our needs, we'll say, on this first point. Also, another side of the integration is the connection between Kumul.io and your data sources, okay? Because I just discussed about the integration of, let's say, the visual part of Kumul.io into your app, but you also have the integration with your data warehouse where you store your data. So this is even more simple, because into Kumul.io you have many connectors to the main big databases that you would know. So in our case, it was BigQuery. We had to link our data warehouse from BigQuery to Kumul.io, and well, it's just a few clicks away. You just have to create a service account and connect directly to your data source. So this is also really great. So then the second point about the seamless integration, well, thanks to the white labeling and the many customizations options that you have in the dashboards, you can create the exact look and feel that you want to create. So in our case, we even created a specific theme, I don't know how to say exactly, I don't know how to pronounce it, with the SimpliField colors. So we apply always this theme to our dashboards, and we have always the same look and feel for all our dashboards in the platform. About the scalability and flexibility, well, it was answered with the technical possibilities that Kumul.io offers, such as passing some arguments to the dashboard to pre-filter your data according to the end user seeing it. So that's the example of the visibility scope. Then about the fourth point with the multi-platform. So, well, I already said it. We needed it to work on iOS, on Android, on the web app, on some specific screens. And so it answers to all these needs, because you can create a different view of your dashboard according to the width of the screen that you will use to display it. So that's also really nice. And the fifth point about the user-friendly solution, well, as you can see on the screen, well, this is a very simple dashboard, but you might have already seen what Kumul.io is capable to do. And well, it's a very qualitative tool, which is really appreciated by our customers. And it also involves a lot of interactivity between your end user and your dashboard. So that's really great about for the experience of the user. So it looks like I have an issue with the presentation. Just 1 second, please. Okay. So then a little talk about our future with Kumul.io. So today's usage at SimpliField of Kumul.io is for what we call standard dashboards. So these standard dashboards are just a few dashboards we created to share with all our customers. Then we also have what we call the custom dashboards, which are some specific requirements from one big account. For example, they will ask to see some specific KPIs. So we will create a dashboard only for them. Okay. And about our future with Cumul.io, there is a really interesting feature and exciting feature for us, which was put in production, I guess, last year on Cumul.io side, which is what they call the embedded builder. So this is very great for us because it allows us to share with our customer the possibility to create their own dashboards. Okay, so now when a customer will say, okay, your standard dashboard is great, but I would like to see this KPI and this KPI and to see it this way and not this way, well, they will be able to do that themselves. Okay, so as you have as a Cumul.io admin, you have the builder to create your dashboards and then share it with your end users. Well, now you can share this tool to your end user so they create their own dashboards. So this is something really exciting for us because it answers a lot of needs and a lot of requests that were made by our end users. So that's it. I just wanted to tell a word about that. I don't know, Olivier, if you have some topics to add to this, and if not, we will answer your questions.
No, I think you explained everything. So maybe we can answer questions if people have any questions.
So I don't see anything on the chat. I don't know if I can see the questions, Carol.
Yeah, I see some people typing. In the meantime, maybe some questions from my end. What are the typical information or insights that you're sharing with your customers? What is the main topic about, or is it on different areas and levels?
Well, our main job is to provide a solution for the people who are working in the shops, in the stores, on the field, be able to fill in some forms. We call those forms checklists. It can be any type of form. And with those forms, they can report or ask for something at the headquarters. And sometimes they have to fill those forms for security reasons, legal reasons, or because for some processes, it has to be done. So our customers want to monitor the activity. That's one of the main goal of those dashboards is to monitor how the users on the field fill those reports, which stores are active, which users are active, what's missing, what's the timeline, what type of forms are filled, and also based on that, when they fill in some forms, they also create some tasks. When they report, I don't know, for example, if something is broken in the shop, it has to be repaired. So a task is created and assigned to somebody. So people at HQ want to follow up those tasks. It's the same thing for the manager of the shop who wants to take care of all those tasks and be sure that everything has been done. So those are a couple of examples of KPI that we are monitoring and our users monitoring with those dashboards.
I see we have a technical question on how to set up authentication and how to ensure single sign-on in terms of analytics and dashboards. Maybe Enzo or Olivier, that's something you can give some insights on how you set it up.
Enzo, do you want to answer that question?
Yes, so maybe you'll be able to to add something then, but basically we have the dashboards embedded in our app, and so a customer is already logged into our app, and he will access the dashboard. Then it's when we call the dashboard to the Cumul.io backend that we say, okay, this user is calling this dashboard, so please send us the information, filtering based on the ID of this user. So basically, we did not have to deal with anything like authentication directly for the dashboard, because the person is already into our application.
Yeah, so I think the question came from Dalal, and to add to that, so you don't have to copy over or deduplicate any of the authentication. No, you can just reuse what you have, and then with that information, you generate tokens where you give access to a dashboard to ensure security always.
Yeah, exactly. There are many ways of implementing that type of solution, but we decided to keep all the authentication system on our side. We rely on a system called Auth0, which is part of Okta, and that's a complete product. And we decided not to duplicate the user database into Cumul.io and keep all the management on our side of this mechanism that Enzo described before.
And then I see a question from Erwin Bier, where he is wondering how you deal with structural changes in your database when there's dashboards around that. Have you encountered that? And how, for example, working with calculated fields and formulas?
Yes, so this is something really common that we face almost every day. When we have evolutions on the dashboards, we have to modify the dataset. Well, we use a technology called dbt upstream to create again the dataset. The dataset will have the same ID. So for Cumul.io, it's the same. He will fetch data from this dataset. But now on one side, you will have maybe 2 more columns which are not on Cumul.io. Well, you just have to go on your dataset in Cumul.io to see it from the Cumul.io interface. And then there's a small button called update schema, and you just click on it and the schema is updated. So that's really great because well, it offers a lot of flexibility. You can refresh and modify your datasets anytime and then update it into Cumul.io. So that's really easy. Is it answering your question, Erwin?
We'll see what everyone. Yeah, indeed, perfect. And then there's another question from Tony, but I think you partly already answered the question there. So he's saying, how are you dealing with variants where your end users would create a dashboard, but I think that's something where you're looking to be able to use, right?
Yes, so I guess you yes, you are talking about the embedded builder. So it's still not deployed. It's the next big project for us and Cumul.io. So well, it's already deployed for Cumul.io and other customers, but in our side, it's not deployed yet.
But Tony, we'll be happy to take that up in terms of how to deal with that on specific questions, how to deal with variants. So maybe for the rest of the audience, what are variants? Variants are slight modifications that end users can do on a dashboard. So if you have a dashboard embedded, with the embedded editor, you can have your end users make modifications on that template, and they can choose whether to see the modified version or the template version. And through the API, you can actually see what variants were created, and to look at how to reuse these variants. So let me see again who it was. Tony. Tony will. We would be happy to help you with that if there's further questions around that. Maybe one from me. You talked about user friendliness. What are some things that you specifically look at when you open up analytics to your end customers? Because I guess you have different kinds of people looking at these analytics with different levels of understanding of data. So how do you approach that?
Well, we can offer some flexibility on the dashboards. First of all, when you have a widget, you can say, for example, okay, on this widget, I want to display the number of visits done by country, or you can select another dimension. Well, allow the customer to select another dimension. I want to see the number of visits per, I don't know, done per teams we have. So it allows them to, well, it's some flexibility according to the profile and what they are interested for. They could rearrange the dashboard themselves. Was it the question, Carol? Or
yeah.
am I answering?
I think you solved up definitely. Give a good answer around that. Any questions from the audience? I see Elaine was happy with the experience that you shared and this lessons learned. I see Erwin is still typing something. So before we sign off, maybe Erwin, all his questions have been answered. So thanks again from everybody. It was really interesting how the story, the storyline, the challenges that you shared. We're open to receive any questions later on if you would still have any. But thanks, Enzo. Thanks, Olivier, for participating in this and sharing your story with everybody.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Bye.